You guys, let's get over here. Let's do this, just like that. Cool, cool, cool. Everybody's looking good, looking good. Well, guys, it's Halloween, so happy Halloween, everybody. I'm here to teach you a really cool painting, and don't worry, we won't keep this on the entire time. It gets very, very, very warm. So let me tell you what I've done so far to this canvas. It's an 18 by 24 inch black canvas, okay? Took it and covered it with our Bob Ross liquid clear. Then we put Indian yellow, sap green, and then phthalo green underneath here. Then Indian yellow, phthalo green, then purple, purple, and purple in the top corner, right? Now what we need to do is wash off our brush real quick. You guys got to check in. Let me know where you're watching from out there. In the night on Halloween, I decided to do an earlier show today because I didn't want you guys to miss out on your Friday night freestyle, and also it's Halloween. I want to go home and pass out candy, you know what I mean? So let's wash off our brush. We'll do this really cool Halloween nighttime landscape graveyard scene with a little cabin or a mausoleum. It's going to be really cool. So we'll go through the colors that we have. Yellow ochre, sap green, Indian yellow, dark sienna, Van Dyke brown, dioxazine purple, or phthalo green, ultramarine blue, alizarin crimson, midnight black, titanium white. Right? So we'll take our titanium white. We're going to come right through here. We don't need to have too much paint on the brush. Let's come up here into our sky. We're going to brighten up instantly. Woo! That's fantastic. That is gorgeous. Now, the more it's intermixing in with that green paint that's out here, or purplish paint, we're going to start changing colors as we go. Right? And the more that you push down and mix down on all of that paint, it's going to spread out, become all crazy. Right? And we can decide how we want our sky to look just by how hard we're pushing on all of that paint out there. Oh, it's fabulous. Oh, I like it, you guys. I can't even see, but I like it. I like it. So tell me where you're watching from out there. In the night. Now, we don't want to have too much paint on the canvas, remember. So we're putting it on, we're spreading it out very evenly, and then let's come back. We're going to grab one of our fan brushes. We'll be right over here. Let's see. A little bit of paint on there. Brighten up a little spot out here, just a little brighter than everywhere else in the sky. Okay. Come back with our brush. And mix down on that little guy out there. What are you going to be for Halloween? Or what did you dress up as today already? Let me know in the comments right now. Let me know out there. Yes. We're going to have a lot of fun. Let's take our filbert brush like this. We're going to go into our titanium white paint. Don't even have too much of it onto the brush. Part of the time, too much is your problem. If you're going to have a problem with this, it's going to be too much paint. Let's come up here. Let's push on it. We're going to flatten it out. Then we're going to rotate around in a little circle. Right? The more that we spin the brush and move from the center, the bigger our moon then has to become, which is what we don't want to happen. Right? So get a little thing out there, gorgeous looking, fabulous. Let's come up here. There's a little bit rounder at the top. There we go. There we go. It's great. Who cares, right? Literally. Super easy. Very easy little technique in order to give yourself a neat little moon out there. So, you guys check in. I'm going to see where you're watching from right now. If I can see through this mask, we'll read out some comments. Let's see. Where are we watching from, you guys? Oh, we got Tennessee. We got two Tennessees. Montana, Idaho, Cleveland, Ohio, Maryland out there, South Africa, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Florida, the Netherlands, Massachusetts, Virginia, Ohio. My closet. Well, what are you doing in there? We're down here at work. We're not in my closet. Let's come over here, grab a little touch of our titanium white, small bit. Okay, let's stay on the outside of this aura out here and just launch in all these little bits, right? We don't want to have too much paint on the brush at this moment because we want this cloud to look a little more faded, a little foggier in the distance, right? So we don't use so much paint. We're going to almost over mix it so it's not too detailed back there. Right? Leaving a couple little areas brighter than other areas, and just mix it down. Let that stuff mix away, all with this undercolor that's underneath, right? Looking fabulous. Now let's grab a little bit more of our titanium white on this one. Just a little touch more. These little things, they keep tickling me in the night. It's very irritating. A little bit more paint on here, right? We used a small amount, a little bit more here, so now we've got the most amount. And let's cut through this guy right over here, popping it up through its brightest point. Right? Twist the brush over, come over to this side, launch it, however far you want it to be. Right? Completely up to us. All you need to do is have a bit of excess paint underneath it in order to be able to grip it and grab it with our other brush, okay? If you don't have a big enough mess up there, then it's not really gonna work or turn out looking like mine, because I do have an enormous mess up there. Right? So now we get to touch and blend and push on this paint as much as we want, extending it backwards, and it grow back and back and back and back into the darkness that's back behind here with all these other dark colors. All right, we don't need too many details. We don't need too many little bits. We don't need too much of anything. What we do need is for this spot to be brighter than that cloud in the background. Right, so just put a little excess paint right there. Go back and blend it out. Nice and off like. There we go. There. There. Oh, it's gorgeous. That is gorgeous. Guys, fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Now, what are we going to put underneath our little friend out here? Actually, what if we had a bit more of this cloud climbing up this side? Just to have a bit of background light behind our next little layer, which we normally don't put back here on this sort of a scene, but we're going to do it for this guy. Pull it down so they're nice and flat down here. Blend it off. Nice and bright. The brightness, you guys. Oh, it's amazing. Now, let's come back into our black, our crimson, and our blue paint. We're going to mix those guys up together in about a 1:1:1 ratio, so equal parts. Mixed up inside here. The Einstein says we have to go with the equal parts of the paint in this one, and we're going to do some division and addition here. Very equal parts of our paint. Very dark color. Now let's grab our brush. I love using the PaintWithJosh fan brush to do trees like this off in the distance. So let's wiggle down onto our brush, loading up that paint, getting it out there, being all crazy, all full of paint. And off in the distance out here, let's start these little tip tappers. And we got a little bit of a forest. We're going to start climbing up. Now, if you don't tap in enough, right, they're going to look like little fence posts out there, or a bit of an old fence or something. Right? So what we're going to do is we're going to tap them enough to fill them in. That doesn't mean bring the paint all the way down here. We're just going to tap them up here enough to where they fill in. So it's nice and dark. You can't see those clouds in the background anymore. It's going to start projecting distance, right? Anything that we put down here, this is how you can do these guys. A little bit, right connected to them, but a little lower, starting a little lower, starting a little lower, and over to the side. Okay, we'll come back and we'll do it again on this side, starting a little lower, literally right next to him, next to him, next to him, creating a little pyramid of trees in the distance. And then you can decide how many little bits do you want to pop up. Do you want them to keep going all the way up here? Totally up to us. Literally making the same shape, pulling down the, not pulling, but dabbing onto the paint, blotting it right onto our little guy. How far do we want this little forest to go? All up to us. Every time we want one more over here. Yeah, one more little guy. Yeah, just a little extension. And we'll let him get all faded and soft as it goes back there, right? Whatever we want to do, you guys, we can do. Now remember, we are streaming on all 3 platforms today. And you can get this painting if you go to PaintWithJosh.com out there. You guys know where to go. What you can happen over here, right? You can almost create more of a little misty, foresty area just by putting something back there. Come in here, we're going to mix up all that color so we have this misty look at the base of our trees. Now, if you don't have a bit of mistiness or anything out there, you can almost make it look like the clouds have wrapped themselves down and around through the forest and created this little bank of fog that's rolling in. Right? Now we all know that when we put the paint up here, that's just a starting point. It's going to grow, it's going to mix in, it's going to change colors, it's going to do all these things that are going to make it look softer and further away. We want to push on it harder. We don't want it to be bright like our clouds. We want it to be a bit darker because that's our mistiness. The craziness out there, you guys. It's gorgeous. Look at it. Who's Matt Taylor? Seriously, I honestly don't know. We'll come out here, add a little bit more paint onto the brush and kind of feed it up into the clouds, right? And almost make it look like the clouds are wrapping around, floating down, a lot darker underneath, and it's fantastic, you guys. Now, let's go decide what we want our little forest to look like. And what I'm going to do is switch brushes. And we're going to go from the Bob Ross brush to the Paint with Josh brushes, which are amazing. As you can see, they fit my my personality quite well, if you can't tell. I'm guaranteed to get either this hair or my jacket into the paint. That's from last year, so don't judge me yet. That's from last year. Now we're going to get out here. What I want to do is mix a little bit of my titanium white with a little bit of my Indian yellow down here, right? Get it onto both sides of the brush. And then we're going to come back here and add that bright spot. It's just hitting just right there, right? We're going to start tapping in and either going above or starting higher, right? And working ourselves lower, coming over here, tapping it, tapping it, tapping it. Each time it's intermixing with the color that's beneath it, so it's going to change a little bit. Tap it out this side, very vertical on our brush too, right? Very vertical. The more we do this, the more it's intermixing with the green paint and everything else that's out there, and you'll have this brighter spot where you can come back and dull it down. Right? All up to us and what we want it to look like. Let's let it feed up into that forest, that mistiness, right? We've almost covered up the entire misty section, but that's okay. It's literally okay. We can do whatever we want to do, right? Now I'm starting to run out of that color, so let's go get a little bit more of the white, a little bit more of our orange or our Indian yellow color, which is making it very orangey. Come out there and tap on again. Maybe I'll leave a couple little extra bits, little spaces in between, whatever it is, and we're literally tapping it out like we're writing a reverse email right back here. However we want it to be, right? The more that we do that, the more we will continue to lay grass all the way until it comes up here. Or you can change your direction a little bit. Right? You can drop it down and leave a little space in between and start adding new little things out there in the night. Same thing though. All we're doing is dropping a section or changing our angle from, instead of being flat, now we change it, go down and then flatten out, down and then flat. Or a little smiley face of a shape, you guys. Literally up to us every time that we want to do these things. And the more that you tap it in, the less details there'll be. So the further away that you go, tap it more often. Let them things connect even, right? Come up here. Grab them, grab onto it. You can start leaving a bigger gap and a bigger gap and a bigger gap. And the more that we tap onto this stuff, the more indistinct it will become, the less detailed back there, right? Man, that looks cool. Woo! I like that, guys. Literally, this is oil painting. Wet on wet. Cosmic Lighthouse over there. Thank you for helping out. I saw Katie over there on TikTok. You guys, as always, are amazing. 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 Oh, Cosmic's on TikTok. She's on both. She's like, she's a superhero. Back and forth, everywhere. Now, we're going to come over here. Let's continue on, just dropping off paint off the brush. I haven't added anything else. We're just dropping that paint off. Letting it roll up. See, we're kind of tapping and then turning up like this and creating this hill in here. This little drop down area that now has a shadow back there. Maybe it's a little ridge. Maybe we go up and cover the entire shadow or just leave a little thing. Right? It's all up to you every time you want to do it. The only thing it's doing is dictating. We've got a different little area down here because we've got that little dark separator in there. Cool things, you guys, that you can do all the times that you go to paint. You can do these really neat little things. Now, let's get out here. We're going to start throwing in a couple little bits of detail. Maybe, just maybe, hang on, just hold the phone. Just hold the phone down here, you guys. All right, let's tap this little bugger in over here. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. I'm creating what I want it to look like in my brain. I can see something right here. So let's put something off in the distance. You know what we're going to do too? Let's take our old filbert brush. I hope you washed it off so it's nice and clean and devoid of any paint. We're gonna take the same paint that we had created. Whoop! Did you guys see that? That is a happy accident right there. My goodness. I'll show you how to fix it though. We're gonna tap down on that area. Right? Make it look like I did that on purpose. Tap down on that whole area so it's softer than the rest, okay? Go back to, no one saw that, right? We'll go back to our darker tree paint. We'll make them a little bit taller. Okay? We're not gonna try to fill up everything back there. Then we're gonna go back again, tapping in at the base to make that misty fog. Okay? Try not to let it grow too far out into our little guy. Woo! That was almost a crazy little accident back there, you guys, but we saved it. We saved it. Man alive. That was nuts. There we go. Okay, now, since we've got the dark paint, which is the same dark paint as our color back there, which is all I was trying to do, trying to show last time. And then we absolutely smacked our canvas with the brush. But look at how easily you can correct that. You can't even tell it was ever there. All right, so we're going to take our brush back here. Let's go make just a little small little plot popping down right there. All right, the smaller away that we make these little guys, and then come in here, tap at the base, just kind of seat it into its own self. If you wanted to have a little bit of shadow underneath it, you could pull down a little bit of shadow underneath. Go back, tap over that shadow, just so it stays there, but it's not so overly noticeable. Right? As we get closer to us, we need to start getting bigger and start getting lower, right? So where does the next one sit? If this one's way back here and the thing is down here, what if we had another little guy, just a little bit bigger, sitting down a little bit closer, right? The closer that his butt is way down here on the edge of that guy, the closer he's gonna look to us. He's a little bigger. We're gonna start seeing more details. We can see where he sits right there. All up to us each time that we go to do these little things. We are in control of what's happening out there. Now, let's come back again, a little bit more paint. Same brush, let's drop down in between these guys, but where I put the top is gonna be vital, right? If I put the top way down here, right, it's not gonna look like it's very big. If I come up here and I take that guy, pop him down, a little bit taller, sit down a little bit further, because the top is coming up right at the base of these two, yet it sits down closer, it looks a little bit closer to us, right? Doesn't have to be humongous, but it's got to sit lower than the other little friends. Tap at the base of that guy just to help soften him out a little bit. Little things that are happening out there in the night. You guys get to decide, how many little pieces do you want? How many things do you want to have out there in the forest? Or how many victims does your witch or warlock have on Halloween night that she has lured into her cabin, which we're about to build, as soon as we throw in a couple more little trees? So let's mix up those black, crimson, and blue like we always do. I find it very hard to breathe. Talking so much and breathing in this thing, if I just normally just breathing, I can breathe, but if I'm talking and breathing at the same time, it's a trick that only some have mastered, I know. But man, it makes it hard to makes it harder to breathe inside this thing. So we've got our dark mix out here. We need to start projecting distance, right? This whole thing is going back into the night back there. So what if we took our fan brush, and yes, the fan brush makes the perfect trees. No, I'm gonna kid you, I'm gonna show you a filbert brush as well. What if we came out here and we said, let's either tap in trunk like that, just by tapping at it and going down, or you can drag it if you want and get bigger as you go down that way. Let's come over here, turn the brush on an angle, and start tapping into it, and start creating little spikes on either side, right? That's all we're looking for, is a little spike on either side, and then you're filling up the center area, and therefore it's pushing back everything else, right? Everything else behind it now, you cannot see. That means that it is sufficiently filled up, okay? Now I'm going to show you with a large filbert brush, right? You kind of want to have new brushes. They're going to work best, but this guy's still good enough to use, okay? One looks just like your finger. It's kind of rounded on the top like that. We're going to do the exact same thing. And don't tell Leah or Danny that we're doing this right now, because they kept telling me that filbert brushes make the best trees, and this, that, and the other, and I didn't believe them for a long time. but I'm about to show you, they really do make some cool trees. So let's come out here, let's make a little smaller guy. So again, we're gonna kind of tap in, or if you got a steady enough hand, you can draw it in, right? Some people don't have a steady enough hand. So we can tap out. We're gonna come from the side, the downward angle, so it's angled down and away instead of up and away like our fan brush usually is. And then we'll start tapping little guys. And we'll start popping outward, right? The more that we pop outward and we push down, the more it's going to make a little branch off of our tree, right? You can fill in the center bit, They don't all have to extend out the same. You just gotta have a little drop down. Otherwise, they all look the same, right? You can't tell them apart if you don't drop down and put a little spot in between. Drop down, put another little spot out there. And you get these cool little hang-me-down branches. They're hanging over the edge. You don't want them to get too big or too crazy. And you can even leave a little trunk at the bottom. So it's all up to you every time that you do one of these scenes, how many of these little guys you're going to put into yours, right? Maybe we got another little guy that sat right back behind our little friend right there. Just tapping a couple of bits. A little here, a little there, popping it down, filling it in, right? That's all you need. It's a little bit of color out there onto our brush. Pop out a few little branches on either side as you're climbing up to the top. And you keep going, you can make it bigger, you can do whatever you want, right? It's your tree, and not all trees have a sharp tip top out there. Danny and I saw a bunch of trees that were like literally beginner trees when we were out there. Like, man, that's a tree a beginner would paint for sure, right? Now what if we came in with a little larger guy, and again, you can tap it down or drag it down. It's not supposed to be meant to be seen, unless you're doing one like this that has a trunk at the bottom, right? Come down in here again, tap out, drop down. You don't have to have every place be all filled up the same, and if you didn't like it, you could go back and fill it in, right? That's the cool part about it. We get to decide when they're finished, how full we want them to be, how big we want them to come down and sit. It's all up to us, guys, literally every time. Now, that's looking really cool out there. So, let's take some more of that grassy color, right? So we got our white, go over here to our Indian yellow color. Maybe sneak a little bit of that yellow ochre. But be careful, the yellow ochre is an opaque color versus the Indian yellow is a transparent color. So this color will try to get brighter and try to cover up more things than the other color will. Being that opaqueness of it is going to try to cover up other stuff. So if it's becoming too bright, right, all we need to do is wipe off the brush, rub it off on a paper towel, come back and tap it in. Just let it intermix over and over and over again. The more you tap it, the more it's going to mix in with those undercolors down there. Start feeding it back, get darker. And we didn't change the color, it's just picking up the darkness from underneath. And then we get to decide how far it grows down, how dark it gets back here, right? Because if I come out here and I pick up some brightness and come back here, it's going to keep making it brighter and brighter and brighter. So I'm deciding what angle I want to change, how I want it to look by each little tap. And I go, okay, that's about dark enough to bright enough, or I can come up here and fade it even more. Have it become softer and softer the more that I do. And that's up to me every time, right? I get to decide what's happening back there. So, you guys, I hope you're liking the Halloween special. The special. It's looking really cool. Dang. That's looking really cool. Yes, the show is mighty early because I want to go home and hand out candy and do all the stuff. And my show is normally right about when kids start trick-or-treating. And so I want to at least be home with the giant amount of candy that I have, eating it while no one shows up. That's my goal. Now, okay, so look, you see we're getting darker down here? Look, we got the white. We got the phthalo green on the brush. Just a little bit. Okay, see how we're changing that color up? Just leave a little space. We can start connecting onto our little friend down here. But again, they're not straight across. These ones are going down at a different angle, right? So if we continue to tap downwards and downwards and downwards and downwards, you can start to have your grass do different things, right? Like it came down this way, and we're almost coming back this way, kind of in between there, and then you can take this and pull it down. You can take another one and push it across the other side. It's all up to us, right? We get to choose, my friends. Oh, that's fabulous. Okay, now, we've got our trees on this side. Let's put in our giant Critch's cottage I'm going to ask you guys, should we do a 1-story cottage or a 2-story cottage? Keep in mind, it's been like 3 years since I painted a 2-story cottage. So, keep that in mind. Should we do 1-story or 2-story while I take a breath in this dang mask? Oh my God. So, Melissa, I have tons and tons and tons of literally, we call them literally every single step videos where I show you from the very beginning exactly what to do and how to get the colors on and all that stuff. And you can, I have my own, a whole playlist of literally every single step video. So did we say 1 or did we say 2? Because I wasn't even looking. Oh, you guys are saying 2. That's not fair. That is just not fair to me. Oh, we got 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay. So let's see if I remember how to paint a 2-story. Okay, the whole top, we're gonna have to lose this part of our tree. So let's scrape out what we want it to look like. Come down there, come down there. What's up, London?
Not much.
Go. Go off this side. What are you gonna dress up as for Halloween, London?
Myself, because I'm awesome.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, they're not stocking it at Spirit this year, but they will at some point.
At some point.
Yeah, the London Awesome costume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I would wear it. Okay, go like that. We'll get bigger. And go off this side. Okay, I can see it, you guys. If that's the wall, then that's the roof. I was telling them I haven't painted a double-story building in a long time.
Yeah,
So.
like a barn.
Yeah, barn, mausoleum, some kind of giant cabin,
I
something.
don't know why you had to go morbid with it. Why can't we store hay in there?
We can put hay in there. Okay, so we're going to take the plaque mix that's right here. If I can barely see or breathe in this mask.
That's all right. Just keep standing up. If you pass out, I'll take over.
Okay. We're going to come up here. We're going to do the top one first. So we're going to angle our blade like that. We're going to push it down. We're going to do like 1.5 on that side. Turn it to match. About 1.5 on that side. All we're doing is blocking in this dark color way up there into our scene, up into our trees, right? We're gonna go, let's see, right up there. The angles have to be sort of good. We're gonna put down on an angle and then fill in the top area. So it's like a little trapezoid. No, diamond. It's like a little diamond. I don't know shapes, some of them are.
Rhombus.
And we're gonna come straight down on the back with 2. Okay? So you have your front, then you have your back. Then you gotta forget about the bottom and decide where the front of your next cabin is. Right there. So let's do like 2 to 3.
I think a lot of your viewers are spooked.
Spooked? What do you mean?
I think they're spooked. I think they've forgotten how to operate on the social media platforms. Guys, if you could tap that screen like you're going for an award, I would really appreciate it. Josh has been live now for 28 minutes with 11,000 taps on TikTok. It's very embarrassing. Yes, London is here. And if you're not careful, Julie Andrews will show up and remind you that you have to tap the screen. Seriously, guys, if you don't follow Josh, hit that follow button. If that is...
Excellent. Okay. Thank you, London.
Of
now,
course.
You can see we've got the front of our house, little side. We've got a side roof, and we've got the front and side with the roof on that side. That's a 2-story building, if I've ever seen one.
If you're interested in purchasing said two-story buildings, the Cabins in the Wild is where Josh is taking this wonderful scenery from. It's just in his mind, and he's never been.
Literally, never been here.
That would be scary. I wouldn't want to go there.
Well, yeah, I need your guys' help when I go out here.
He's scared.
I'm a little scared. Here we go. Tap it up a little higher on this side, we'll be all set.
Yeah, it's horrifying.
Gorgeous.
It's supposed to be.
Little thing. I like it. Okay, then we're going to come in with a couple of our brown colors. We'll take a little bit of our white. We'll come over here and grab our dark sienna and our Van Dyke brown. Mix both of those guys up with that little small touch of white. Very small, right? A little bit right here. Let's come off the back side with this darker color. So we've got our wall, our back wall over there. We've got our back wall over here. A darker brown mix. It's going to be just perfect. Let it over mix in. And you can start to see the vision, you guys. Now we need to make up a little bit of gray for our roof. Like a little like a hot tin roof out there. So we'll take our white and our black mix. Take a little bit more. You can decide how bright you want yours to be. We'll take our white and our black. There we go. That's a cool bit of grayish. Nice. Okay. Take this guy. First, we need to have our little touch on the sides. We're just literally going to tap at it, tap at it, tap at it. There we go. It's a little bit of bright color. We can literally do the same thing off of our edge right here. So we're coming down, tapping at our little guy. Just to have a little highlight on the one side. Right, grab that highlight, that same gray. We're going to come back off of our roof this way. And it doesn't have to be the brightest thing you've ever seen. We're painting a nighttime painting. Remember, nighttime, right? There's a little bit of brightness to it. A little bit, that's all. Same thing off of our back edge. So you would imagine if our house came up like that, we would have this side, and you have your side wall back here. It doesn't need to be as bright. Kind of hidden in the shadow of our own house. It's just gonna be out there. You don't even have to finish the back edge because we're gonna put a bigger tree over there. Very cool so far, guys. Now let's take a little bit of that brown. I'm gonna take a little touch of white. A little touch of our brown, make it brighter, but not too bright. There we go. Take this brighter color, come up underneath here, pull it down, pull it down. You want it to smear and look like wood. Right? If it's not smearing and it's breaking, then it's not going to really look the same as it should. Doesn't need to be perfectly the same either. You had one side be a little darker, one side be a little brighter. It literally doesn't matter. One-ishly. Right? You want it to blend in more, then pull down on it more. Makes it more. Yeah. Right? All up to us, guys, literally. We're going to come off the front of this guy as well. Here, slide it down. Leave a little bit of dark space if you can, in between your rooftop and your thing. It'll just add that one more little touch of depth to it. Right? A little shadow back there. Brighter on the front, a little darker in the back. Guys, is that not gorgeous right there? Is that not a cute little barn? Just a little two-story, gorgeous little thing, right? You tell me if it's not. I think it is. I'm saying yes. I'm saying yes. Put a little bit of that darkness back in between. And literally, you try painting out of this thing. I cannot see a single thing, you guys. Literally, you gotta start up higher over here, though. There. It's gotta start higher on the one side, drop down and get lower. Okay, now let's say we want to put just a little window, maybe a little arch window up there. Whoop. Pull it down, straighten it out. Gorgeous, right? Gorgeous. Maybe you want to put just a little bit of a little lip out on that window. A little window sill. All we're looking for. A little bit of that gray too. Just like that. Gorgeous. Fabulous. I love it. Now let's go for a big old open door. So we'll go about 1.5 on either side. There we go. Big old opening. Yeah. That's where everything is performed. Ooh, you know what? What if we could do, I'm wondering, not done this before, but I'm wondering if we take a bit of white and a bit of our, put it into this open door area and we kind of blend it out enough without letting it overwork itself. Right? Then you can imagine something is going on inside. Something is happening. There's a spell being cast, or something is going on from inside that building. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now, let's just say, what if I wanted to put a door, or let's fill in, make this guy kind of straight. There we go. That's cool, guys. I like it. I don't know what's happening in there. Something is happening in there, and it's spilling its way out onto the grass. Let's see. I don't know. It's kind of cool. And if you don't like it, then you just go back and black over it and cover it all. Right? That's all up to you. What you want to do in there. It's pretty cool, though. Pretty neat. Pretty neat little thing happening. Just to be, swing the door. You can cover it. if not, then you take that part out as well. Put it back in with our little bit of goldish orangish color. It's all up to us every time that we go to do something. That's the best part about this kind of painting, is you can literally try something, say, you know what, I didn't like that. Try it again and go, ooh, I like that. You know what I mean? Makes it look a little cooler. A little cooler to me. Okay. And remember, we've got a bigger tree over here that we're going to stick down. It's going to grow down over here, which means we need to have a little bit of space that we're going to have showing in kind of behind this little tree. So we've got our ridge there, and then we drop down, drop down, drop down. So flattening it off over here. Again, you treat your grass like water, right? You get to decide how it's going, how it's growing, which way it's going down, this, that, and the other. All up to us. And then we can always go back in, right in certain areas where we wanted it to hit. Ooh, what? I like that in there. Right? Coming down over here, wherever it wants to be. And we can decide each time how far it gets to extend. Out and downward. In the right. It's just wherever we want it to go, right? We're in control. And then we can get back in there and tap at it until it's bright enough or dark enough or whatever for you. You guys get to decide. Now, you can always go back in. You can throw in more little things, more little bits of our, right over here. Drop down another bit right there in the middle. What are we going to do, guys? Boom, right? Oh, that's so cool looking. So you guys got to start coming up with a title for this painting, right? And we're going to see, as we keep going, what it starts turning out to be. Right? Drop down into our little phthalo green area. There we go. Place where we can walk up. Fabulous. You could drop down more little things in here. You could do more gravestones. You can literally do whatever. Say you got, Josh, I don't have a filbert brush, but what if I wanted to do a big old gravestone right in the front? I would come over here with your fan brush, get tall and big, drop down, cover up, way down here. Yes! Just starts looking bigger, wider, right? Sits down a lot further down here underneath, and then we can come back in. Decide where you want it to live. Tapping in a bit of the grass. Remember, it doesn't have to all be bright all the way down here in the front. Very hard for all of our light to get down all the way that far. Ah, diggity dog. I like that right here. I like this one, you guys. It's dark. It's fabulous. It's excellent. We got the light, everything coming down, coming in, the different changes, the gradient of the grass, everything. Yeah, a bit more of a little blend on that grass from the green to the yellow area. Yeah. Woo! Just walk right out onto this guy. So, we need to mix up a bit more of our black mixture. So let's take our black, our crimson, and our blue paint. We're going to mix all those guys up. We don't want it to intermix with any of this lighter color or any white or anything. We want it to be as dark as it possibly can be. And then we'll go back and we'll highlight those little trees. And we'll be all set. So you guys start coming up with the title. Remember, if you grab this one during the show, you get to come up with the title forever. So if you love this kind of stuff, then let us know out there. Midnight Clearing. I like that for a title, guys. Now, remember, whatever you do, you can't go back once you put a big tree in the front. You can't kind of go back behind it. So make sure you're all set and all ready, you guys. And make sure you got a lot of paint for this guy. That doesn't mean put a lot of paint on your brush. It just means it's going to take a minute to do this one. Okay, so we're going to tap down right there from the top. If you got that steady hand, bang, right down here. Right, the closer that we get, the bigger the trunk is going to be at the bottom. The more it's going to make sense. We don't even have to do a spiky top. We can start literally halfway down our tree and start popping these little guys out. Then you're filling in a little section, right? The harder you push, the crazier bend or bow that your branches are gonna have, okay? I'm gonna go back and get more paint because you need it to be dark. You need it to stand out as being darker than all the other paints behind it. Thicker, closer, right? It's taller, obviously.
I know you can't see me, but I'm leaving.
Okay.
Okay, see you.
See you later. Happy Halloween. Right, so go back, get paint every time. Drop down in here into that kind of misty area where we can see it. Right? You can see the differences, but you're filling in that trunk. And then that way, this tree is going to look a lot closer up. You don't have to continue to get crazy big. Right? It doesn't mean that it gets wider and wider. Now all of a sudden you're way down here because your tree got so wide. Get about as big as, I would say, 4 little dabs away. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then don't go out any further than that. If anything, go in closer. So you got some that are smaller, and then you pop out another larger one down around the bottom. You can't just keep going large, large, large. Otherwise it's going to look like a big column all the way up with everything all being exactly the same. Right? Now, this is why you've got that little bit of color and stuff back here. Makes it look like we can see through the branches back there. Like this really, really awesome little filbert brush tree. Now, don't tell Danny or Leah that I said that, because then they're going to think that I want to switch to filbert brush trees all the time. No, not happening. Now, since we've got our pile of our plaque mixture over here, get that up onto our bushy brush, our round brush, mop brush. Pop it down in here, covering over little things, covering over some of our trunk, right? Letting it grow out as far as we want to. Light that guy up with some highlights, like these guys up with some highlights, and it'll be all set. Look at that little double side or double tiered cabin back there. It's amazing, you guys. Okay, so you guys start coming up with a title, just to prove that we did it. Right? We did the whole thing with the mask on. Gonna unmask the singer. Hey guys, I'm sure my hair is just fabulous. I love it. So, one of my most favoritist of Halloween decorations, old Skellenstein, and his mouth actually does work, but I have to like tape it to my head if that's the case. Plus, we didn't get any paint on the lab coat this year. So again, excellent. All right, cool. So, the masked cabin. I like that, guys. You know what we need to do to this cabin? Because I haven't been able to see the dang thing, we need to bring its wall down just a little bit more back here. We can always go back over and fix our tree limb and the wall in the front down just a little bit here. There we go. That way, this side being shorter, coming down to a longer spot, and then going back up from that downward angle, right? So we got this angle going up this way. Not an angle going up that way. That's going to make it look more 3D. It was the one thing that was irritating me the whole time I had that mask on. I was like, I can't see straight to fix it, so it's fine. Now, let's go back in here. We're going to wash off some of these brushes and then show you how to highlight a couple things. Actually, this has that white and yellow on here. I bet you if we went over like this, there we go, down, down, like we're making a waterfall, and then we went back over the other direction. We just let them blend in together, right? Starts looking like a little grayish, especially the more you do that, the more you have that white. So before we even wash this, we might as well put a little bit of white on there as well. There. The more white that we put on, the brighter gray our gravestone is going to be. Do you know that's why they call it a gravestone? Because they're gray? Probably not. I don't know. Probably not the reason why my hair is all fluffy from being underneath my mask. Right? The more that I mix it, the more gray it becomes. Just by kind of pulling it down, letting the brush do its thing. And that way, you got this gravestone out there. Now, how you make it look 3D is another story. Okay, we're gonna take our odorless mineral spirits, which is our brush cleaner. We're gonna put it into our plaque mixture, which is that dark, blackish, purplish color. Okay. And because this guy, again, is sitting on this downward angle, we're going to get right up on the top, right at the corner, okay? Just don't get too large until you get over here and you start dropping it down. Now, it's not as dark as I want it to be, so it's not standing out as much. So let me get a little bit more of my odorless mineral spirits, more of that darker paint, okay? We're going to go across it again. There we go. drop that line, and then it really whips down and is very parallel right here. That's going to make this side look closer, and it's going to look like a slab of concrete out there, right? Like it would. Now don't do these guys back here, because it's gonna lose the depth. If all these look exactly the same, those guys are too far away to see, okay? So don't worry about that. And while we have this wetness on our brush, and I know you guys are gonna be like, oh, put bats in the sky and stuff like that. You guys know me, I gotta do the old bird signature out there, right? Just imagine they're bats. Just in your own one. You can paint bats in your own one, but just imagine mine are bats out there. Now, you guys start coming up with the title. I am going to start highlighting a couple of these little trees, but we gotta wash off some brushes first. So, take the time, check in, let me know where you're gonna watch or where you're watching from, right? And then start hitting me with your titles after you've checked in, okay? So let everybody check in real quick. Where are you guys from out there? In the night on All Hallows Eve, bro. Where are you from out there on this All Eve of Hallows? Let me know in the comments, okay? Tell me now, even if you're watching after, maybe you're watching this next year. Maybe it's Halloween 2026 coming up, and you're just watching this video for the very first time. It could happen. It happens all the time. So even then, check in. Tell me where you're watching from. Perfect. Let me know, you guys. Let me know. I think I'm gonna need to get some more of my paint thinner out and put it into my bucket. So where are you from? Out there in the night. Let's see if I can't read out a couple. Where are we at? Where are we at? Virginia. Let's see. I do have a tube, and we're simulcasting this over to the tube as well. So you'll be able to rewatch this one from the beginning. We got the UK, Pennsylvania, Buffalo, Iowa, Frederick, Maryland, Texas, Ohio. Man, this one's still available. You guys, you got to get over there. Dudes, look at that grass, though. Seriously. A little opening coming out of my little tab, which we could very easily adjust now. A little darkness there. A little dark grass, a little shorter than it is on this side. On this side, we can take away whatever we don't want. There. Some enchantment is happening back there. Some sort of something. Yeah, it's even got the right kind of angle up, just a very slight angle up. That's gorgeous. Who cares who you are's? That's a pretty one. Okay, so let's go highlight these little guys. You can even, if you want a very sharp tip top to your tree, just run your palette tool up through the paint. Don't slip though. You slip, you're not gonna have a sharp tip top to your tree. You're gonna have like 7 sharp tip tops to your tree. But you get very sharp right up there. Let's go finish washing off these brushes. And then you guys are gonna have to start coming up with a title for this one, right? Remembering that we painted it on All Hallows Eve. And so maybe keep that in mind. It is a seasonal painting. I really need more odorless mineral spirits, but I think that the can that I have over here has never been opened, and it's gonna take me longer to open than I want to spend right now. So let's do this. Okay, let's go for our fan brush first. Okay, so we're going to take our little fan brush. I use these smaller ones. I always use a bigger fan brush to create the shape, and then a smaller one to highlight the shape, right? Because inevitably we're going to make something, we're going to make a mistake that's too big, and if we do that with a smaller brush, that's going to make for a smaller mistake, which will be more manageable, right? So we're going to take our yellow ochre and our sap green plus the liquid white that was on the brush to begin with. We're going to mix them down onto there, right? Now, when we come up here and hit this little pine tree, it should be bright and it should deposit very easily. Now, let's think about wrapping them like Christmas tree lights, like strands, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to tap, tap, tap a couple times. Then we're going to leave a little space, tap again, leave a little space, tap again, right? Couple little taps, couple little taps, couple little taps. Now down here, doesn't really matter how bright it is because it's going to be shadowed by our little friend. Up here, you can see the brush was too close together and didn't leave any spaces in between. So what do I get to do? I get to go take those spaces out, right? Do whatever I want. That's the best part about it. It's going to intermix in with that darker paint, and as long as I'm not putting on more brightness to it, then I should be okay. Now remember, when you're looking at it, right, you can't focus on just the one thing. You have to do them all. Kind of back up, crisscross your eyes a little bit. Right? Crisscross applesauce on those eyes. And it starts looking more and more like a tree because you got to take it in all as one thing. Right? One piece of information into your brain versus overlooking at a certain spot. Right? It's supposed to be bright. There we go. Tappy, tappy, tappy. A little bit of things happening. Right? We got a brighter one, we got a darker one because he's back in between the two, so we really can't see much on him. If anything, we can see more of these two branches, less of the guy in the back. Right? So you're deciding each time you go to do yours what you want it to look like. Also remember, each time that you touch that highlight color onto our plaque trees, it's going to pick up that dark paint and it's going to make it harder for your highlights to stay bright. Right? That's why you have to go wash the brush in between, go back and get more paint and go wash it, get more paint, go wash it, get more paint. So we got a little bit of our liquid white over here. We're going to the same sort of color. Let's get a little bit more green on this guy than our yellow ochre. I'm mixing it into the same pile, but we're using more green on this little friend. We're tapping down onto it. Now remember, we're going to go very vertical, little touch on the top, and then little things, okay? We do not want the entire branch to be covered up. So when we tap it on, we're leaving little spaces of darkness in between there, right? Tap, tap, tap. Not even doing the whole dang tree. But we're tapping on, we're leaving little different areas. That's what you have to have. Those differences that are in there, right? Now, because this guy's already so big, we don't really need to get a new color or a new brush full of color to come out here and tap onto his little doers and his little fingers. And the bits that over here and there and everywhere, right? We don't have to touch everywhere is the best part. So we'll wash off the brush because it's getting to be too green and blackish, right? We'll get some more of my liquid white. Back over here into that green color. A little bit of my yellow ochre right in there just to change up the flavor like Bob would always say. You gotta have a different flavor in there. Get tired of the same old flavor, right? Just gotta have something else to drink in here. And again, we're gonna pop down and out and over our little guys. And remember that it's not gonna go forever. But again, just like Christmas lights, right? Little strands of Christmas lights out there. Tapping them down, tapping them down. The harder that I have to push onto these little guys, the more I'm gonna squish my color underneath them, right? I don't wanna squish the color underneath them, but the more that I push on it, the more I will. So that means that no matter how much color you have, right? You're gonna have only that much space on our filbert brush because we don't want to over push it. So let's wipe it off, clean it off, right? So that's 2 times now on one big tree that we've had to go back and get more paint onto the brush, more of our liquid white first, then more of our sappy green and yellow ochre mixed together, right? Until we like what it looks like. And then we can't just keep coming at, like the further we go, right? When we first start out, we're up here like this. This is awesome. Right? And the more we get down here, because we're lazy and we don't want to dip down, right? Our brush starts changing angle and that's not going to leave the right shape. So let's get down. Let's do our calisthenics down here. Right? We'll pop on a little bit, little bit, little bit. And the more that we pop on there, the less that we're going to like. The more of our darkness that we cover up, the less that we're going to like that tree, right? So tap on a couple little bits. Remember, it's supposed to get dark as it gets back away from the front edge. So that's perfectly fine. If it starts getting a little bit darker out there, drop on our little doer out here on the tip of our guy. Look at that. Isn't that a cool little tree? That's a cool little tree out there, you guys. Even these guys are too bright for the backside. So tap at them. Tap at them. Tap at them. Okay? You don't need all of that detail and all that brightness way out there. In the back, we need it up here. Frontals, right? And not everything has to be all the same color or all the same amount of bright. Right? That again is up to us how bright we want to have it and how much space we're leaving in between the 2 bits of color, right? Totally rockin' like that. These little guys are gonna soften things. There we go. Bits, little doers, little things. Boop, boop, boop. Very cool. Guys, isn't that amazing? Get all that depth in there. Now, let's go over to our bushy brush. And I think we got half of the brush unused because I only ever use one half. You guys know that. We're going to come over here with the liquid white on top, the top half. That dark plaque mix is on the bottom half of the brush. So what are we going to do? We're only going to use the top half of the brush. We're going to plunge right into the heaviest of the piles. The darkness, the craziness, the nastiness, right? And that way, when we get up here, there we go. When we get up here, we can start popping on all these little things and have them all be different with each little touch. They get different because we're not hitting the same thing. We loaded it all wild and crazy, and that way it would turn out looking really cool. Popped in just a couple little bits of stuff over here, right? Went back to our little brush, tapped at them, just to leave a little bit of space, a little brighter area, a little darker area, a little whatever. It's all up to us. Literally everything that we do, guys, is up to us. How many times do we want to do it? How many things do we want to tap in? How many little things do we want to show? Do we want to bring some of this dark color back? Tap it up in that way, or back over here, or whatever. Right? We're in control of what it looks like every time. We're going to put a little land down, let's put it all the way through. That is a cool painting, you guys. I really hope you enjoyed the Halloween special. And I had a whole lot of fun painting it for you. A whole lot of fun. So, start hitting me with your titles. Right? What should we call this one? If you get it during the live show, you get to come up with the title forever. You get to choose what it is. That's the whole incentive in getting it during the live show, is that you get to pick. Right? So, you can find it on PaintWithJosh.com, right over there. Literally, very, very cool. Cosmic's telling you how to get there. Everyone should know how to get there anyway. You watch enough shows, you should know. Thanks, Christina, I appreciate you. In the dead of the night. I like that. That's cool, man. What if? I don't want it to be too bright, right? Which means that once we put it up there, we gotta kind of blend it. So it would make sense that the brightness was way up here. And a little closer, a little closer, a little closer, just by tapping it down and extending it into the night. Oh, is that a little bit of brightness just coming towards us, guys? That's freaking cool. I like that. So, you guys start coming up with a title. Remember, you can grab it. It is available. You will not see a photo of it on my homepage over there because we are painting it live, right? Haven't done it before, so there was no reference photo to pull it from or put up there. But if you go to grab the one that says 2128, I believe, mods, you guys will have to help me with that. I think it's 2128 that we're doing today. The best artist. I appreciate that, Kaiser. I appreciate that. The Unknown Hallowed Night. Thank you, Cosmic. 2128. That's what I thought. That's what I thought, you guys. What I thought. Halloween. End of Days. I like that one, too. End of Days. That's cool, man. This little bush up here in the front. Oh, he's wicked. He's a wicked old bush, you guys. Make it a little bit darker down around the bottom, just by tapping over what's there, just so I can only see the stuff around the top, right? So that's what we really want to see. That stuff on the bright stuff on the top, and then we want it to get dark as it goes back in the night. Okay, you guys come up with a title. Remember, if you grab it during the show, you get to pick the title forever. And if it goes and finds a new home, I will put the Skellenstein costume back on, just for you guys. That is such a cool colored gradient right here. Oh, I love that. That is nice. Okay, I have a couple brushes left to wash off. Then we gotta sign the painting on the front. So, you guys gotta hit me with your titles and make sure none of them are piss. Just you hit me with your titles. Make them good. Make them good. What are we gonna do? Yeah! Okay. Over here. No, we're over here. This is a better spot. Bring it down. Just like so. Fabulous. Oh, excuse me. Pardon me, folks. End of Days. I do like that. I mean, I like that for a title. I really chew. I do like that for a title. This is irritating me now. There we go. That's better. There. Let's make your way down the shallow. Yeah. Right. All you gotta do. You're the one that's in the control back there. You're in the driver's seat. You get to tell us what starts to happen down in the night. Okay. Let's pick. I like that one. End of Days. That's what I would go with. If it was me, and it is. If it was me, I would go with End of Days because I like that title. It's a cool title. So, mods, can we find that one and pin that up to the top? So that whoever came up with that title can get credit, right? While I take down this beautiful little painting. It's kind of like this would be a cool, like, farm painting as well without the gravestones, you know what I mean? And just do a neat little farm scene, throw a fence in there, do all sorts of crazy stuff. So keep an eye out for one like that. But that is cool. Literally, paint me a 2-story cabin on a live show in less than an hour. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, let's wash out this last brush. So we're not touching the canvas anymore. Wash out the old brush. There we go. Perfect. This. Fantastic. Okay. What are we calling it? End of Days. Why are you ready for a title, you guys? And I hope. Woo! That was a close one. Look at that catch, by the way. Didn't even contact the painting. That was a close one. But what I was going to say was I hope that you guys enjoy your Halloween. I'm glad that you chose to spend it with me right here, painting a very cool scene. I also can't wait for your guys' versions of this painting. Please send them in to my Facebook, which is at official PaintWithJosh, is what you gotta do over there. Okay. End of the night. All right, cool. Hey, why am I even looking at the clock? Painted on 10/31, 2026. We're all gonna go to PaintWithJosh.com right there. Wrote it out for you even. It's fabulous. Look at that guy. Woo! All right, be careful when you're handling your painting so you don't drop it, that's for sure. You don't want to drop it and go reaching for the front of the canvas and grab something, you know what I mean? Like, no, and then you got a whole tree on your thumb. It's happened. It's happened before, guys. Literally. End of day. Thank you, Cosmic. I appreciate that. Let's see. There's by Jennifer. Thank you for coming up with that one, Jennifer. You are awesome. This is oil paint, and it came out fabutastic, you guys. Our little sunken gravestone over here. Cool little things. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate you guys. Very nice. I like it. I love you guys. You guys are all amazing. Boom, boom, boom. In the dead of the night. That big old tree on the side over here is looking fabulous. Goodness. Thank you, Jennifer. Spooky Moonlight. The Haunting of Elm Creek Farm. That would have been a good one, too. That would have been a good one. Okay, so you guys have been amazing. I love you all. I really hope that you have a fabulous, responsible time while you are out there trick-or-treating tonight. You know what I mean? Drink responsibly, drive responsibly, trick-or-treat responsibly, check your kids' candy, and I love you guys. I can't wait to come back, and we'll do it again next time. So everybody that's watching over on the book and on the tube, I love you guys and can't wait to see your versions. Remember, at official PaintWithJosh is where you can send them in over on Facebook. And until I see you guys again next time, take care. Have the rest of a good day. And bow, bow, bye, you guys. Oh, Fabulous. Just wicked. I like it.